आओ हुजूर तुमको सितारों में ले चलूं, दिल झूम जाए ऐसे नजारों में ले चलूं. A sparking welcome to you all to the live chat show for NRBnews24.com with our celebrity artists from Arpita Garud and Arijit Basu. So today, you know, I'm thinking about few movies like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, No One Killed Jessica, Laila Majnu. You know what? These are my favorite movies, and so is the music of these movies. And believe me or not, I have a surprise for you. Yes, the music composer for these songs, these music, is here with us today, Mr. Joy Bora. Yes. So, Joy Bora is an Indian singer and music composer, a playback singer for Hindi, Assami, and Telugu films, a popular name in Bollywood industry, and he has given hit songs in the movies to name a few: Munna Bhai MBBS, Dev D, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, Chal Chala Chal, Laila Majnu, No One Killed Jessica, Agent Vinod, Margarita with Straw, Pride, Udan, and many more.
Now we welcome Jai Borua. Before that, I also like to have Rishi Chanda, who is another Indian singer and a music composer for many Tollywood and Bollywood movies. A popular name, he is a popular name in the Tollywood industry, and he has given us hit songs in the movies. To name a few of those, Akranti, Dui Prithibi, Shedin Dekha Hoechilo, Om Shanti, Khoka Babu, Meg Rodur, and many more. So here, the audience, myself Arijit from NRB News 24.com, we are going live, and now we will start with Joy Borua, the discussion. Here you go, Arpita, take charge.
Hi, Joy. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you,
So,
Arpita, for
Joy,
having me over.
sorry.
Thank you for having me over, Arpita.
It's our pleasure actually to having you in our show. So I'll start with asking you, from us singing in advertising jingles and being a popular name to being a popular name in Bollywood. So hit songs from movie Agent Vinod and Love Ka the End, No One Killed Jessica, Zindagi Milegi Na Dobara, and many more successful music composer and singer from Assam to Mumbai, movie industry. How has been the journey for you?
I think it's been a fascinating one. In fact, as you mentioned, some movies I was associated as a singer. There were other composers. So, and for example, Love Ka the End, I think was Ram Sampat, and I worked a lot with Preetham in some of the movies, Shankar San Loy, and then I moved on to doing music for my own self. But I think the journey has been fascinating because in terms of where we come from in Assam, we have grown up with a different kind of music, and
Right.
which is our own in our own language, contemporary Assamese music, our folk. Plus, we've grown up with our sense of rock and heavy rock, blues, and then coming on to Bollywood. I think it's been a fascinating journey, and I just feel like there's so much more to do. Every day it feels like it's the beginning of the best part of the journey, which is yet to come. So that is how I wake up and how I live my, how I live my day, how I go through a day. So I did envision at some point that I would be a musician. Like I always wanted to be a musician, but because we never grew up on Bollywood, it was a little tough on whether we would come to Bollywood. So
I'm
that was a
sure.
bit.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I didn't know if I would be fitting in Bollywood because Bollywood was not part of my game. But then I realized after graduation, when I was failing at other things, that maybe I need to give the music career itself an option and a go. And hence I came to Bollywood here in Bombay because here was where the industry was. Thankfully, things worked. But I never looked at Bollywood as something where I would do as the road for my artistic vision. Again, Bollywood, that was not Bollywood for me. Bollywood was something that would put food on the table for me. Very simple, because
Okay.
I never thought of because there was no Bollywood inside me.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably the only musician or singer who came to Bombay without knowing a Hindi song.
Oh,
Having said
okay.
Yeah, but having said that, I
So
didn't know
was it
him.
difficult for you, or like, I mean, how
I
did?
didn't think that way because when I auditioned, I just landed up singing in the first 2 weeks. I got into advertising, I got into jingles, I got into remixes, new trends started. So actually, I didn't have time. So for the first 2, 3 years, 4 years, probably I never sang in Hindi itself. So then I realized there are so many ways and so many things that can happen if you just keep your options open. You know,
Right, right.
and life is like that. It gives you unexpected openings, and
Right.
you just need to be good at what you're good at. I think I think that is what it is, and you should love what you're doing. Hence, I say it's a very fascinating, and there's a lot more to happen, a lot more I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's amazing. Winning a singing competition at an early age, I guess 7 years. What kind of music influenced you the most?
I think I grew up in a Catholic school, so there was lots kind of singing of hymns and gospel hymns. So I gravitated a lot towards soul. So music which had soul, not necessarily soul music. It could be very heavy music, but which had soul. So obviously the early works, in an early life, I would listen to a lot of Bhupen Hazarika, his brother Jayanta Hazarika, and grew up with a lot of Beatles and John Lennon, Boney M, Carpenters. I think you can ask Rishi now.
Sorry, viewers, we got disconnected. There were some technical difficulties which arose suddenly. So we sincerely regret the inconvenience. Now that we are here back again, and we are missing our other co-host, so she will be joining us soon. Now that she was asking, and sorry, Joy, for the interruption, I would go ahead and ask you one more question. Like being an ardent admirer of the Beatles, the Eagles, Simon, Sting, Beethoven, Mozart, and many more. Apart from the other than them, you have also been an admirer of Salil Chaudhary, Ilayaraja, Bhupen Hajarika. What are the work? What made you work on blend of this rock, soul, folk, and world beat music? Can you throw us some highlight on that?
I think there's a unique flavor to a northeastern and an eastern artist too. Our music, when you come in from the northeast and also from the east, I'm talking of Bengal onwards. There's a unique flavor to that music, which is kind of, you find those melodies kind of very universal. At the same time, there's a sense of being very local. I think it comes naturally to us, to some of us musicians, to kind of have a very different kind of mix going in the songs without even realizing it sometimes. And especially when we layer those melodies onto a guitar or piano, the mix becomes even more. There's even more variety to that mix in terms of a single melody. I think we are just blessed with very unique song making and understanding capabilities in the East. It doesn't happen in the rest of India. Those and uh, Ilayaraja, Ilayaraja, we used to call Salil Chaudhary as the composer's composer. So he understood that art very well. He understood the speciality of the East. If you ask Rahman, I think Mr. Rahman has always said that he considers Mr. R.D. Burman his favorite composer. Now, R.D. Burman was almost, R.D. Burman's ancestry goes to tribal people from Tripura.
Wow.
And and Salil Chaudhary, being Bengali, he was also born in Assam. He was born in a tea garden in Assam. And R.D. Burman from Tripura. So I think this Northeast and Bengal, they have a very unique strength of creating melodies which is not present in the rest of India. So melodically, and that's why people who have listened, for example, Ilayaraja, who's heard so much of Salil Chaudhary, and Rahman, who's heard so much of uh, R.D. Burman, and he considers a guru and the best. You would find them gravitating towards that kind of melody, which is very unique to our regions. I think Rishi would also concur with that kind of a.
Yeah.
I think he will. We have a very different song making skill and ability.
Yes, you're right. I agree.
No, even as you said, now I can also relate your statement of about this Eastern religion. It's true. It's true. Even I realized that.
Yeah, I think even when I listen to sometimes a Rabindra Sangeet right now, and there's a universal nature to the melody. You will not
True.
find a universal nature to that melody from a UP or a Bihar or Madhya Pradesh. They
True.
have their own things. But I'm
Yes.
speaking of the universal nature of a melody.
Right.
You know, for example, Bhupen Hazarika brought so much of Assam to Bengal, brought so much of
Yeah.
Bengal to Assam,
Mm.
and took the best out of Assam and Bengal to the rest of India and to the world. Now,
Yeah.
that is not only the greatness of Hazarika, but he was blessed to be born in a region which had universal genes. And I believe the Northeast and the East and Africa has it, not many other parts. You cannot go to a
Oh yeah,
Irish.
Africa. Yes.
Africa has it. You know, in
Mm.
terms of African folk music, you listen to music and you feel that it can blend in with everybody. It has that unique
Yeah.
capability. Whereas an Irish or Scottish piece of music, a Celtic piece of music, feels like it belongs there. You know, it's not
Mm.
easily fusible. It still sounds that way. So I have never learned music theoretically. I don't have a theoretical explanation for this, but all this is from the heart. This is what
Wow.
I'm saying with my life.
All great musicians are like that, I'm sure, because they grow as they go. And now that we were talking to Joy, I'd like to have Rishi, like based out of Mumbai. Rishi is an Indian singer and a music director. The journey that started with mandolin and performing and at All India radios as a child artist. What has been going on with your passion as a music since then?
What has been going on? That is what life has all been about, you know. So life is music in a way. Uh, yeah, it's been a long journey with a lot of variety, with a lot of risks, with a lot of passionate, bold steps. Uh, so it's been great, and I think I am staying young because of that.
Oh, wonderful! That's nice. And in any ways,
Yeah. So
music is, yeah, carry on.
you want to know the journey and like you little story on the whole
Uh,
thing?
we will come with you in due course of time from your journeys. But yeah, good to know that you are still
Mhm.
being young and music keeping you young.
Yeah,
Arpita,
yeah.
yeah,
Also, I would
Arpita.
like to add that it was lovely to hear Joy speaking. I'm seeing him, meeting him for the first time, and he was like really putting things very clearly and from a very deep level. It was very enjoyable, Joyce, whatever he said. Mm.
Thank you, Rishi. I think
Mm.
we'll meet soon and discuss and take the
Yes,
conversation further.
cool. That'll be great. That'll be great.
Okay. Yeah.
And now I'll go back to Joy once again. Now the you also I think what I could remember that the best debut award you got in 2010 for your album Joy, looking out of the window at the Big Music Award for Big 82.7 FM. What were the strengths singer Joy was finding in his musical career and then growing from there and did not look back? What was in your mind then in 2010?
I wanted to create music that, I think this is the basic. This is why we create music. We create the songs that we haven't heard, that we haven't stumbled onto. There might be great artists, but there are certain songs you like to hear that have not been created. And it could be a small song, it could be a big song. I'm not even talking of good, bad songs. There are certain kind of melodies, songs, overall structures that you want to create, and that is not there in any space. So that is how you start creating. And what I thought was that, it was not about creating songs. I just wanted to be free. This was never about I have to create X number of songs, have X number of people. Music for me is like a very personal journey. It's like a love story. You love somebody, So that when you love somebody, it is not up for public judgment. It's not whether the world will tell you, okay, somebody you love is beautiful or not, or as good as they think, or as not as good, or this or that. It's a very private relationship, sometimes, mostly actually. And to nurture that relationship and keep it going and make it more beautiful is what my personal journey is. And it's also like when you have a wonderful relationship, you want to explore the world with the relationship. You want to see where you can go. How you might have been to a place before, but if you go with somebody you love, you find that place acquires a different meaning for you. That is what I do with my music now. I go to places, I find different things. I try to enjoy life with my music. I try to learn. I try to learn, and it is a two-way process. It's a symbiosis. I bring in things from there, and I leave things behind.
That's
And I
great.
think
That's
I
how
feel
it
free.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
must be enjoyable also, right?
it is very enjoyable. I live a very very exciting life. I think a lot of people get super jealous looking at what I do and what I believe. You
Yeah,
know, yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Joy, tell me, from 2003, with the song in Munna Bhai MBBS to Laila Majnu, the recent one. So, what has been the most satisfying moment or period as a singer or composer?
You see, everything was when I started with Munna Bhai MBBS. That was the time. That was the first Munna Bhai MBBS, and the movie had no songs. So the movie producers, the directors, and the company Universal was in a big fix as to how they promote the movie. Dekhle was a very slow song.
Uh-huh.
So that was the first time a Bollywood movie decided to club mix its own song. Movies didn't have club mixes in 2003-4. So this was the first time. Like remixes on their own would exist in a different space in an MTV of old songs. Current movies didn't have songs which were club mixed. So Universal had this whole idea of how let's turn it around in a fast club mix, up tempo dance, whatever you choose to call it. So there was the company, there was Anu Malik, then there were the people who were working on the music, and they decided that let's turn this song, take the vocals, layer it on music, and turn it into a fast dance number. So that was step one. Step two, what do you pair this with? They thought we should pair this with nice English vocals. So they called me because I just stumbled into it, and they thought Anu Malik had heard my voice. He thought this could make a difference. And he was working with my mentor called Jatin Sharma. So in the middle of the night, Jatin Sharma was working on the track, and he said, why don't you write a couple of lines and we sing? So that got my career started. And I wrote it in English. So now it's not about Laila Majnu, it's also how you start. So it gave me the faith that whatever I had learned so far in life wasn't wrong, because what put me into Bollywood music was English music, English lyrics,
Oh,
English sensibilities, the fact that I could understand pop, the fact that I could understand rock, I could understand dance music, I could understand phrasing, I could understand rhyming sentences, I could write. I wrote the whole lyrics, so I could write poetry, whatever little I could write. But I at that point, it was my first track in Bollywood, but I realized that whatever I had learned in life up till then wasn't wasted. It just got me an entry, and it created a singular kind of thing. There were not many people who were doing it at that point of time. There was only me and 2, 3 other people who did what we did. So that became a whole big kind of a genre by itself, singing in English. And so it's like no learning goes in vain. You just have to put your heart into it.
that's true.
I could write the whole thing in half an hour. I could create lyrics. I had a sense of lyrics. I had a sense of literature. So there is no learning that actually goes in vain. And everything from a Cliff Richard to a Tina Turner to an ABBA to a Boney M, everything factored into writing that small piece. But then you realize, when you want to start and when you want to love music, just love it for whatever it is. Don't get segmented. Just have an open heart. You will find what is good for you. You'll find what is your favorite. But just go
Yeah.
open. Uh,
Yeah, told
Just
you. I mean, I like music.
one more thing I would really like to add here, and I think even Rishi would agree, because when we grew up in Assam, the sort of music I was listening to, like for example, my pop and the rock and everything, like out of 100 people, there were probably 3 or 4 people who would listen to it. But that didn't put me off. It kind of put me in a space where I thought actually, oh, I'm listening to something nobody else is listening. I thought actually I was ahead of time. I could have been right, I could have been wrong. But that's love. What you love, it doesn't mean that 100,000 people have to love what you love. So if you love something, it makes my life work for me right now. So I think that's what it is. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, of course.
It was an exciting question.
And I do agree. I do agree. As we were also discussing about music, like I love the music word. I mean, every kind of music is okay for me. I mean, I am just loving that environment. So yeah. So okay, I would like to ask you. The men from Assam, where you had stalwart like Bhupen Hazarika. How did his songs influenced you in growing up years?
I will talk of one song.
Mm-hmm.
It might have a Bengali. I don't know if they have a Bengali transliteration for it. It was about the name. I'll just give you the example of one song, and the artist can make it. It can make out of anybody. It definitely made me. So it was called Hoi Khobote Dhamalite. Hoi Khob is childhood, and Dhamali is fun, childhood games. Hoi Khobote Dhamalite. So that's an Assamese. Those are Assamese words. So he talks of a time when he's met probably the first love of his life, and some point they have jumped into a river and they are bathing. So the root of the song is love, sensuality. And probably they were not in love then. They were probably children, They just jumped into the water and, and because nobody knows where the song came from. I'm telling you what was in the song. So it talks about 2 people who were in the river and they were shy, and slowly they've grown up, and he's in love with this woman, but she finds somebody very rich, and she goes with him. And he's obviously speaking of marriage. And then he says in Assamese that Monor Goraki Keri Dhonor Goraki Dhorila. Monor Goraki. Mon means you left the person that who was in your soul, and you went after who had the riches, the Dhon. Monor Goraki Keri Dhoror Goraki. So the song progresses like that. And he says, one day I saw you with somebody, with this man, and I turned the other way. So it's a sensual song which moves on to a sense of economics and what it did and undid him. It moves on to life. And in the end, this whole sensual song, in the end, he says, I want to create a society. He says, I want to create a society where the value of humans is more than the value of gold. He said, I want to live and I want to create a society where the value of gold is more than the value of, where the value of the human is more than the value of gold. So see the journey of the song, and in the end lines he says that. So these are songs I'm fortunate to have been stumbled onto the songs when I was very young. So they frame you. You realize that sometimes songs can have very big meanings.
Yes.
A love song can end somewhere else. A love song need not be only a love song. So I would say, those have had profound influences on being and writing the songs that we do and creating the sort of music that we want to do. So just to give an example of the sort of music I liked and how it worked for me.
And, we were talking about Bhupen Hazarika ji. So I would like to ask you, beside the Hindi and Assami, you have collaborated with Shruti Hassan. and composed in SME Tamil fusion songs. The lyrics were penned by Kamal Hassan ji. So how do you see that experience? I mean, how did you experience it? And do you wish to do more like this in future as well?
Actually, Shruti and I were very good friends. So, if these are called collaborations. Actually, collaborations, I take a lot of time for collab. I'm not a very collaborative person because the whole idea of collaborations in India is like have a cup of coffee and jam. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. It takes a lot of time for me to sit down with somebody and say that no, let's do a song together. So Shruti and I are very dear friends. So we decided to work on an idea, and that turned into a song. We still haven't got around to recording the song. We performed the song. So I have done one, two collaborative things with people I have really, grown close to. So if you ask me, do I look forward or do I see myself? I really don't know. It depends on the time, place, and definitely the person, and that idea. But I cannot sit down with somebody and say have a cup of coffee and say okay, let's do a song. Maybe I don't have that in me. I'm not that good. Telling you very frankly, I hope I've answered that question. Your mic is off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Arpita, your microphone
Yeah,
is
yeah.
off.
So I was just asking Arijit. I mean, you have something to ask. You said.
No, I've been listening and it's so intriguing. I just don't know what to express, but yeah, it's nice chatting. You carry on for some more time. Let me get
I know.
refreshed and
I'm
get
enjoying
the
this
things
chat,
in me,
so
and
much.
then
So I can imagine, like you are just sitting there and enjoying.
I can ask one question. Yeah, I'm in a free mood, want to just
Yeah.
listen to them, what they did. But before that, also, now I would like to, now that all that I am been hearing from Joy, and we haven't started that much with Rishi yet. But again, I, as a other perspective from your end, also, like you being a child artist and you also perform in different platforms. So, what your thoughts then, Arpita? Now that we are talking to them, I am also interested to know about that.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I was not a studious girl, being the youngest one. I wasn't very studious. So yeah, I mean, poetry was something like when it just started. I mean, I was actually studying, and my sister was beside me, and I was preparing for my exam, and suddenly I wrote a few lines and I showed her, and she was like, "तू पढ़ रही है क्या कर रही है?" But she was so impressed कि I mean you have written so good lines. She was impressed and she said कि you should write. And then then it started. Like I
Then the journey
wrote
started.
a lot. For my school magazines, and slowly I started performing in Kavi Sammelans in Jaipur and around Rajasthan, MP, UP. So even my dad used to love that. So I got awarded from Rajasthan Pathak Manch thrice. So it was like a proud moment for my dad also, and that's what you are looking for. More than your happiness, your parents' happiness is like too much for you. So yeah, that was so that's why I started enjoying this journey a lot. And then yeah, last in 2017 my book got published, because I had a gap of around 7 to 8 years in between, got busy with career and everything, and then suddenly it happened कि नहीं यार, something is missing. I started writing again, and this book came, Makholi Diary. So now it is like, as Joy said, it is the phase where I'm enjoying doing it. I'm running my business and I'm enjoying this. This is like, people are jealous with this also. Like a few of my friends, they are like, wow, I mean, this artistic mind and this, whatever we do artistically, this somewhere, keeps you very calm, and it is kind of meditation. So yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to like my whole purpose was to know what from a common people's perspective and those people who are already celebrity. So I just wanted to know you shared a good piece of information. I'd like to go back to Rishi. Rishi, uh, now that you are a man of many hats, from being a guitarist to various instruments and then being a singer and a music composer and a director, how is your journey so far since making a mark with the Bangla band Porosh Pathur to Tollywood, then to Bollywood? What we know about this man, Rishi's journey. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so the band thing started first, just like Joy. I was into the same kind of music, a lot of Beatles and a lot of rock music, and Guns N' Roses had just come up those days. So it was a real, very like hot blood kind of approach to music in those like that aggressive thing. I still do, and it all started from the time that when you are in college, that you have that aggression, and rock music came at the right time, and it just got directed in the right area, and I think we excelled. All our friends, like we started off in college. My first band was my college buddies, and we started winning competitions. So music has always been like it has been a great start. Like the first competition we won, kept winning competitions. Then Porosh Pato happened, which was an original music, and those days, very honestly, we didn't know much about music. Also, just some certain basics, and we were already attempting our own songs, and there was a lot of struggle to get into the market, but then it really works, and life changed. Uh, what else can you ask from God? Like if when you're in college, just out of college, you are touring, you have like people, like a lot of fans for the band, and a lot of popularity, and it's always fun. It never felt like work or anything. It was always like an experience. Like, oh God, I'm so lucky. Like every time I'm on stage and the crowd is jumping, it's like an experience. Like I don't know, it can never be enough, that experience. So that kept. I just kept wanting that probably for a long time, and yes, I kind of a lot of dreams came true. The first band that I grew up, kind of the band that made me decide that I want to be there, was a Calcutta band called Shiva. Those days when we were in college, and they were phenomenal. And there was like five, six, seven, eight bands in India which were doing really well. Certain Northeast bands, Calcutta Shiva was the biggest one. So Shiva, I saw Shiva concert, and that kind of changed my life. I just want to be on that stage one day, and that's what started happening. And then life has been great as a touring band. Traveling. And best part is your bandmates are your best friends, so it's great. It's like a cricket team, I would imagine. A lot of fun, and yeah. So from there, moving on to films was something that was not like straight to films. It was a curiosity again that yeah, performing live is an experience, but creating music in the studio is another experience, which I was completely unaware of at that time. So I kind of got into recordings and worked under music directors, played guitar on advertising, jingles and background music and film songs and stuff a little bit. Worked under Debojyoti Mishra, one quite an eminent Calcutta music director those days. So yeah, that studio atmosphere also kind of very was very appealing to me. I loved the atmosphere, and I just want to stay there all day, even if I have a 10-minute part. So it's like that. So I figured that I want to be here, and then slowly, opportunities came my way, and I kind of accepted every challenge and tried to, do well in that challenge. So one challenge got me to the next tougher challenge, and that way I think from ads to movies to commercial Bengali movies, which is like just like Joy, for me, my background I have never been interested in Bengali commercial films, growing up days, and the music, especially in those films. I, I used to detest that those days. Today I'm not so judgmental, but to be honest, yeah, those days I hated that music. I didn't like that music at all. I could never imagine myself being a part of that kind of a film. But life is always full of surprises, and this is what is enjoyable. And this kind of suddenly I'm finding myself in the middle of hardcore commercial films, and it was so exciting that I could never imagine that I would be so excited to be a part of a commercial film, Bengali film. And I remember the first day of release, and when the posters are on the wall, and I'm like, it's so unbelievable. Like my name is on the
Wow.
poster, and tomorrow we have a release and all that. From where to where, like it's completely shocking for me also. And then, yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. Then again, there was a gap. We were again performing live for a long time and did a lot of TV work during that period. And then again, in fact, we started when it was films. We were like a team. Couple of our band members, we decided like let's form a team and do some studio work and let's produce music and learn producing and learn how to record and learn the mixing, art of mixing, what happens in a studio, how to get a good product. So that's how it started. It was all like initially we were three, then it became two, then it became all one single solo, and now it's very different. Times are changing. I think the expression of art, the meaning value of art is changing. So it's I'm also looking forward, just like Joy. I think the best is yet to come for me.
Right, right.
Now that best is yet to come for you,
Yeah.
you have from taking from there. I would like to ask, like you have composed for several ad films and in jingles spanning over these 2 decades of your career. Now that I was following you. I saw that you have been doing some work on the YouTube videos
Right.
and releasing it every Friday.
Yeah.
So, what is it all about? Which has been coming up every Friday. What are the work you are doing?
Yeah. So basically, from as you heard from the experience, the band was something, movies are something else, ads are something else, everything is something else, and generally for something or for a common purpose or something. Even if I'm doing a solo career in music direction or whatever performer, it is for something always. So now in this lockdown period and lately in life, things are changing, perspectives are changing also. So this is something that I've started doing just for me, just for my own satisfaction, and without any like brief or any previous pre-planned idea or a concept to achieve something. It is just like I want to express my whatever little creativity I can express through music. I've started doing my own videos, visuals, editing and all that. Because of technology, everything is possible now. Sitting at home, you can do create an entire production, audio, visual. So I'm focusing on expanding my creativity. I like you said, I play guitar, sung, compose, all that. Now I'm expanding to more of visuals also, along with the audio. So I have a channel which it is me and my elder brother. He is a chef, so both of us, we brothers, have opened this channel. It's called Six Strings and a Frying Pan. Six strings, like guitar has six strings, so six strings, and a frying pan denotes the chef. So two of us, we have started this kind of
That's a catchy name, right?
yeah. So everything is very relaxed, open, cool in this idea concept, and it's we are calling it a universal platform. We are open for every kind of creative work, and the fun part is as of now we have been collaborating with you know normal uh, common people who have never really attempted to go out there and express their art. But art is inside a lot of people. A lot of people, but a lot of people have not had the probably courage or whatever, some kind of lack of confidence to go out there and do it. But the art remains in the heart. So now we are projecting on taking that art out of their hearts, and with all my experience and expertise, I'm trying to present them in the most professional way. So every Friday we are releasing something or the other, and it is covering a lot of things from poems to music to everything. And recently, what
Wow.
I did was I did a jam track with my first band, guys. So it's just connecting again,
Wow.
going back to those days,
I
and
would
they are
love
all
to watch that.
yeah, and so some of them are in
Arpita,
London,
I'll
some
be
are in
opening for
Kolkata.
you. Your twins can get now noticed by
Yeah,
Rishi.
I'm learning ghazals now. So
Yeah, please,
yes.
you please come to our channel. There's an email ID. You write to us. We'd love to collaborate and
Wow.
present you in the best
Thank
possible way.
you so much.
That's wonderful. Arpita,
So,
carry on, Joy, with
yeah,
Joy.
so we were talking to Rishi also said he used to travel a lot for with the band, and we had so much fun while working in any industry. So Rishi, now this is a common question nowadays. Joy, I would like to ask you this: how do you think the this lockdown period has impacted the industry, and what, in your opinion, the artist would consider doing during this phase of pandemic?
Well, I think for now the industry has slowed down. It'll
Yeah,
find a way out, as will everything. Everything will evolve, find a way out. So uh, I'm not too worried. I think the artist is getting a lot of time to introspect, study, go about things that he had not had time for. This is I think these are times to be really humble and find out what all we don't know. You know, regardless of whatever the world is telling us, and that this is great and that is so amazing. We have time to reflect. We are not traveling anywhere. We are not in a rush. We can actually find out how good we are or we are not. And I
even
think
even
that
even
journey,
artists had plans for traveling. Like you also had plans to come to
yeah, a lot of,
USA.
lot of, lot,
Yeah,
yeah, I had a
yeah,
lot of plans. But
everything.
but the point is, with the way I'm engaging myself in doing what I want to do, I've had no time. Absolutely no time.
True.
I don't even know how these 3 4 months went. I don't even know if it's 3 or 4 months. I'm a little lost any which way, but I don't know whether it's 3 4 months. I get up early as if it's a normal thing. I get about, I study, I try to compose some music. I'm related to a few other things also. So I have had no time to sit or think back that the world is closed. I do think that sometimes the world is closed because hence I'm getting so much time to do other things and invest time in things I like. But it's a great time for to reflect, to understand, to get close to people. I think what the artist, you like music because music gives you a great sense of high happiness and it brings people together. And that is the reason why we start liking music in the first place and we want to be close to music. But then later on, when we turn artists, we forget the reason why we turned into music for the first reason. And
Yeah.
then we just go on to making songs and making songs. We lose that sense of love and that sense of affection and what got us started. So this is again time to invest back into those things that got us attracted into music in the first place. Why that love affair happened. So I think it's a refresh button on this whole relationship between the artist and the art. And I think this is a time to grow and to flower that plant again. You know,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
water the tree or water the plant again.
Yeah,
There's so much to be done. There's so much to be done and I think for an artist also to understand what art can do. In the last 14 15 years, we've just been working. We took out stuff. I don't do so much work, and I like to do what I like to do. So it's not that I did so much work, but time was always a premium. I realized what you really don't have is time. You can have everything. You can buy everything in the world. You cannot buy time. So now
true.
that you have time, you are reassessing. Like you created songs, and you created songs you like. You created songs people like. But what is the music going to do beyond the stage? What is there beyond iTunes and Spotify? What can you do with your music? Is the time when this time has taught probably some of us again. You know, so I
Great.
choose to be learning in times like this.
I agree. I agree, and that was the answer I was looking for. Actually, even I think that way. People are getting so frustrated during lockdown. कि कब
But
खत्म
it's a
होगा
time of creativity, as
yeah
Joy
this
mentioned. I
yeah
believe
this should be
that this is the best time of,
relearn.
yeah, the best time to reinvent yourself, I would
Yes,
say.
of course.
And also about any kind of relationships with the people you love, your family. I think mankind, by its not only artists, mankind by itself is these are this. I think we'll never get this time back to learn and reassess ourselves again.
Yes, absolutely.
Much as we hate the pandemic and the closure, these times, I hope these times don't come back to us like in this way.
This way.
No,
Yes,
at this cost.
yeah.
But it is time to reassess what we were going for in life. What was important and what was not important, what to take forward and what not to take forward. You know, uh, Education, ambition. How much of that do you really need? How much? It's like you're dressed for all kinds of weather. You're dressed for winter, but it's summer actually. You need a t-shirt and a pair of shorts to go out. But
Right.
you are like packed to the hilt. You are like wearing 5 hats and 7 layers of jackets. You don't need so much in life. You just need to go on. You know,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
you
true.
shed what you don't need, and take what you just need, man. This is teaching us people, relationships, art, work. You know, I think for us, I think it's been a wondrous experience. Day before
Yes.
yesterday, the skies in Bombay were purple.
I
So
know. So
we
many
never
people
saw
are-
purple skies here.
yeah.
So we've survived to see this. So and great beauty has come at a great cost. But this is what has been the learning. What it took
Yes.
for us to take everything away and see. And then I look at nature now and realize, it's like when you paint a house, you're thinking so much of how to match color patterns, how to bring symmetry. But nature is perfect. There's no color which is too strong. There's no color which is too off.
Yes,
Everything is just perfect. You look at the skies, it's perfect. You look at the greenery, it's perfect. There is no strong color. There is no off color. Nothing.
That's true. Very true.
So
Very true.
3 months of shutdown and we are seeing purple skies. 6 months. In 6 months' time, if this is shut down, the world will look like a disco. I think.
Even I was like seeing some of the pictures where from I think from Punjab you can see the mountain ranges
yeah,
and
yeah.
there's so much of greeneries all around. You see the
The
leaf
sky
foliage.
was clear. With the less population, they could see the Himalayas from
Yeah,
their
yeah.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the
Ab-
picture.
So, Joy, the art and the artist in this process, in the person, should not be lost. That we know, and you also told. Even during this pandemic, what would be your message to the upcoming artist? Like, you got my question?
Yeah, I do. I did. I do. I don't have a message. I think we can share experiences. We cannot have
Mhm.
a message. But the point is, I think uh, for an artist, I think we build on the cultural heritage. An artist builds on the culture. He's a cultural ambassador, and he builds on the cultural heritage that he has or that he's been part of. Now, for somebody like me and even like Rishi, I think a whole Bhupen Hazarika and a John Lennon is part of our cultural heritage. We build on that. But in times like this and in the lives that we lead, it's also important to understand what is cultural heritage is within us, but what is without natural heritage, people, ecosystems, society. I think the message for the artist is that to look, not only look within, we just get too lost within. It's also important to look without and understand that we are all part of something. It's like protons, neutrons, everything makes a molecule. So we are also part of structures where everything is as important. If you make the greatest songs, if you make the most beautiful songs in a studio and trash the worst public outside in the street, then that makes no artist out of you. It's like you've never learned anything. So much as I don't like this to be a rant on activism, I'm just saying that artists should be aware of what's around him in terms of people, in terms of the ecosystem. Uh, if art cannot teach awareness, nothing else can teach awareness. Art teaches us to be aware of people, of plants, of humanity, of life. It teaches us empathy. I
On
don't think the
this,
profession, well, just to make this point a little stronger, cost accounting will not teach you empathy. You know, you know, or an engineering degree cannot teach you empathy. Art teaches you empathy. I went to a commerce college, so at least I'll have the qualification of saying so. The balancing the left and right hand side of a balance sheet, it might teach you to put money in a CSR account, but that is not empathy.
yeah,
That is logic and that is decision. So art teaches you empathy, but if you have learned empathy and you're not practicing it, then what's the point? So I think the message for all from all of us to people, I think, to just look around and see if they can create a better world.
exactly. Heal the world, better world. That's what we are talking about. And before I go back to
Arijit,
yes,
I would, just because Joy was talking about this. So, I was just thinking, nowadays, because we are doing so many things, sitting at home, we are cooking, we are, managing our business, we are doing what we love. We give time, although, but also it's very, hectic. It's become very hectic because we are handling so many things. So in general, I would like to ask you also, how do you balance, being a research technical guy, and then doing these kind of stuffs like, being a TOI, NRI brand ambassador for Times of India, and then doing these kind of shows and managing your job. So how do you manage it, the balance?
well, Arpita, this
And
is
you are a good cook too.
yeah, pandemic taught
Has
me
taught us. I
many
know.
things, from cooking to like hosting the celebrities and many other coming up with many other topics of interest. Yes, being a research IT guy, that's a profession which keeps my appetite full. And from there to a journey like being a brand ambassador with Times of India, that's my passion. So I will talk about that later on sometime. Not right now. We are
Yeah.
discussing artist celebrities. So it's a journey. It's as we are listening from Joy and Rishi. Like it's a journey. We grew up with like each day on different learning from different people and how they balance learning. That has been my forte because I have been following many people and getting the best out of them, like what they do, how they are preparing themselves. So during this lockdown period, I have seen many posts in my news feed keep coming like the cooking thing. So I was never a cook until 2017. I
Oh,
never did a cup of coffee. And now I am like cooking everything. So that's
everything.
learning. Okay. So the interest in me has helped me to
I used to
grow.
hate kitchen.
uh, now I find my kitchen work is a stress buster after working from home all day. And when I find like now that I have to shift my mode from a research technical guy to a passion of writing something, writing my like writing about someone, writing about like a topic of interest that will reach out to several people worldwide. So that's the time I think about it. That's the cooking place, which is my cozy corner of my house.
Yeah.
I would not elaborate much sometime else, but now that we will move on with Rishi. And before that, Joy, I would like to come up to you with the ecosystem work, which you have been doing a lot about the rainforest. So let me ask few questions to Rishi, and then I'll come back to you.
Sure. Sure.
Rishi, now that with Porosh Pathor, what we have been like, you have done a lot of work with Porosh Pathor going back to 90s, the band which became a household name and rose to popularity charts with songs like Bhalabasha Mane Archie's Gallery and many more. It was like there were many popular form of music wave that started in Bengal. Phenomenon has many recall. Porosh Pathor has several hits to its credit. Reaching the top is tough, and then maintaining is even tougher. Porosh Pathor, the popular band of the 90s, perhaps the most infamous band of the 90s, then, oh shit, hold on, please. Then the fire caught up. Why was that? Because you came out from the Porosh Pathor. You and Samit, I think the lead vocalist, you came out. Why did this happen?
Well, as Joy was saying, like at some point we forget where we started from. I think the band was coming to that point where the band, some of the guys in the band were forgetting where we are coming from and what was the purpose and what is the entire thing all about. And so there was, I think I would call it disciplinary issues. When you're running a organization, which is like our band had a manager and we were professionally touring and everything was professionally done. So when you are running a professional team, there has to be a kind of discipline with all the madness and craziness. You understand, but still there is a, somewhere there is a thin line, which all artists should also know. And so it was getting to that zone where suddenly I was feeling somewhere deep down that I don't want to represent this energy, this combined energy, because now the all minds are not together. It's the whole, understanding of the thing is not together anymore. It's getting scattered. So I thought it's good to leave when things are there instead of, just sliding down with it. That's how I felt. So I decided to just move on and see what's next for me. And that has happened in my life a lot of times. I reach a place and then it just falls back to zero, and again something else happens. It's a different route, uh, which is nice. So, but I don't have much. I mean, I have no hard feelings. It's only about I have only good memories, and I think leaving the band was the best decision I could make at that point of time.
Just on that, I would like to continue with
Yeah.
this question. Like young boys and girls those days in Bengal, uh, like uh, was following you, and the open air concerts and everything was in a popular way, and you people were coming up in a big way. But the year was filled with lots of Porosh Pathor music. And then, do you and Samir would like to get back again, and would we can we see that you guys team up again and give many more music or contribute many more new music in the near future? Do you plan that? You do you have in mind anything about it?
No, nothing in mind about it. Like for me, again, I don't want to now partner with somebody like team up and do anything. Right now, I'm not in the headspace. But I think what happens and then it ends and then you move on. You should not again go back to the same story and continue that story. I like new stories, new directions, new. What is gone is gone. It's past. It's like past life.
That's true. That you have to move on. You just can't keep
Mm.
what was went wrong.
Yeah, I want
Sure.
newer things. I want newer things, newer
Yes.
experiences,
Yes, because experience taught you a lot many things, and I'm sure in the near future
everything.
we will have many more musicians team up with you and then go forward. Arpita, over to
Mm.
you. You unmute yourself.
So I would like to ask Joy now. about the work you are doing. So, Assam is a land of rich culture and cultural and natural resources. The best known for, tea gardens, oil refineries, international known for, Kaziranga forest. One honor, someone's microphone is disturbing me, I guess. Arijit was. So yeah, and magnificence of a rainforest and beautiful waterfalls. So you have recently raised issues about public concerns about illegal mining that has occurred lately in Assam. So we have seen you at the rain forefront amplifying a public concern over illegal mining reported from the Patkai, India's largest lowland rainforest, and also the ongoing Bagjan gas pipeline blowout. So that has resulted in losses of several houses, trees, lives of human and animal. People are taking shelter in relief camps since the fire broke out since the end of May. What influenced or pulled you for this particular issue being an artist?
Hi. So I think all of us have gone and grown complacent. Assam is anyway a very easygoing people. You know, there is there is great weather, great vegetation. You know, there's abundance. So people, I think we've got very laid back, and it's not we've grown laid back. We've been this way. So I was taken to the rainforest about 8 years ago, and I was fascinated. Like we have rainforest now. Rainforest is something where nature changes inside. You know, where there's mutations. They are the last known mysteries of mankind. There are different things that can happen inside a rainforest. There are rainforests in India, in Assam, I think somewhere in Lakshadweep or Andamans, I'm not sure, and then in Indonesia, and then you have in the Amazon. These are, I think, the 4 or 5 places where there are
Yeah.
rainforests. So, and rainforests are heavily mysterious places. So I was amazed that I was taken to the rainforest, and then I knew that we had rainforest. I personally was grown up in Assam. I came to know of rainforest now, like 8 years ago. I thought it was a crying shame, and now after 8 years, I hear that part of the rainforest, they are being cleared. So my thing was not an activist movement against the people who were doing this. My thing was, and I'm done with the whole set thing of blaming somebody at the center, blaming the government. My thing is that if we are asleep, how long can we keep on blaming others? That's a wrong
True.
attitude. We
Yes.
don't know what we have. If we don't know what we have, we don't even know what we are going to lose. Nobody was giving a damn about what was happening. There was no talk of being Patkai anywhere. There were environmentalists who were working on it, but I think it's the job of an artist to amplify. That's a different job. That's a different kind of awareness. Some of us have the bandwidth to do that. And there are a lot of people who know us, and hence it's an easier job, I would say.
Of course. Yeah.
So for us, and then I realized, for a forest to happen, or for example, I'll just give you the nature of a tree. For a tree to grow and for a tree to happen, you need is like somebody who has got the nature of the tree and the seed, like a botanist or a zoologist or whoever, environmentalist, to understand that this is the way a tree is going to grow. To tell the world that the tree exists, you need musicians and artists like Rishi and me. The botanist is not going to write a song or write a poem about the tree. It is the musicians and artists who are going to tell the world that the tree exists, that the flowers are going to bloom. To ensure that the tree stays in space and nobody's encroaching and nobody's going to cut away, you need the government and you need government agencies for the tree to grow and not for people to cut it away. When the tree of when the environmentalist fails, when the government fails, and when the artist fails, then the lawyers come in. Then they move court and they make it a law and say, don't cut the tree. I realize this now. I realized that nobody knew about Dehing Patka because the artists were not doing about, there's more to this, but I said, I thought the artists aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They are not amplifying. And suddenly waking up in the morning and singing a song is not work enough. There has to be conversation. You just cannot get up in the morning and say, I love the Amazon rainforest. No, this has to be sustained conversation. So what I did, I brought up the conversations. I opened up my Facebook. During times of lockdown, people were just singing songs. I said, I'm done with songs. That is my job. I'll do that. I live to sing songs, but I'll open up conversations on nature and Dehing Patka. That's what I did. And do I know enough about Dehing Patka? I don't. So I brought in the people who knew. I brought in the environmentalists who knew. Okay. I brought in the lawyers who were responsible in filing the PIL. Is what is happening in Dehing Patka. I brought in students who cared. So I got the whole order sorted. There were different groups of people. I brought them together, and nobody would have listened to them because they don't have that kind of an audience. How is a student supposed to have an audience? But I exposed him to my audience. I brought him on to my Facebook. I brought him on to my social media. And suddenly, a whole movement built up in 2 months. I don't think Assam had so much spoken about those rainforests in the last 15, 18 years as it has in the last 2 months and in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
My job, our job as an artist is awareness. We speak about the forest. We speak about the flowers. Our job is not policing. People are now sending me of, the trees are being cut. Joy Borua, why don't you amplify it? I said, that is your job and the police's job. We cannot do a policing job. But we can speak about the environment. We can speak about the rivers. We can speak about our people so that people who are watching, they know what to take care of, what to be careful of. Yes. That is our job. And that is the job I'm doing. Only that.
That's good, and the ecosystem worldwide is going through major downfall. So a complete haywire, the trees being cut, the habitat and the wildlife are much at risk globally. So what an artist in you, thinking from the perspective and to do contain or spread the message to the world.
I think it has to be part of our conversations. It has to be part of our music. It has to be part of the conversations around music. When we sing,
using social media and bringing them all together, talking about it.
For example, even since I'm doing it and I've done it for the last 2 months, I have brought in lawyers. I've brought in everything. Now today we are speaking about it. Now that is also something I do, and that's why you're including this as a part of this conversation. Now you're watching this. Arijit's, their people are watching this, your friends are watching this, Rishi's friends are watching. Suddenly this conversation has incrementally gotten bigger, bit by bit. So this is what it does. Since I'm doing this, it's being amplified. And that is what it is. I don't have to try too hard. I just have to work at what I have to work. And when I speak about things, it gets amplified. That's it. There's no really rocket science to this, but I think we need to do this all the time. When I do a concert tomorrow, I'll be speaking about the ecosystem. Why should I not? These are my backyards. How can I just watch my backyard being just gone? How can I watch my land being just, wasted? So I'll bring it up at every concert. I'll bring it up at every opportunity. In terms of awareness, I'm not an activist, but there is activism in our music. And that's a sense of awareness. I think if I'm trying to fight something, it's the lack of awareness. I'm not trying to fight a company or the police or a government. I'm trying to fight ignorance.
That's a unique way of doing that, and no other person other than Joy Borua from Assam taking this up. It's definitely uniting people from every other sectors of life. And I think that is reaching out. That's how we also reached out to you, like following you, getting to know about you, the ecosystem and the rainforest you are working on. So That's a great piece of information. I will just like to ask Rishi now a question. Like you were dealing with name, fame, success in the Tollywood industry until 2016-17. Then you suddenly decided to shift your base to Mumbai. Why was that?
Yeah, around, yeah, a little before that. Hmm. So why was that? I thought if not now, then when? And I thought this time I'll just you see in India you can go up to a certain level in doing regional work, and I kind of whatever opportunities are there for musicians like performances and movies and ads and all. So you do it in your own city, and I'm not a guy who's like completely stuck in one place or city or you know I would like to explore different places. And in the last 5 years, I've lived mostly in Bombay, but then again, a couple of years in Delhi also. Uh, Decided to move on because I wanted to learn more. I was more curious, and due to Bengali films, I used to come to Bombay very often and do all my work here. And working with a lot of Assamese musicians, technicians here. I've done recordings with a lot of good musicians over here for the Bengali films, and which kind of really made me fall in love with this place and the way things work here, and the kind of overall the atmosphere, the openness in the thought process of the air. There is some kind of like I found little more breathing space as an artist uh, because I was completely new here. Nobody knows me here, and I didn't even know how to go from one place to the other. I had no idea. It was completely in a strange land with strange people, and I think that experience has taught me more. And today, when I my all these experiences will come out in whatever I'm doing and will do in the future. So I think this getting comfortable in one zone, and you think that okay, now I've cracked it and this is it. I'll just continue this and other focus on just living a good life, partying with friends, and sleeping and eating well is not me. I have to make my life little hard sometimes for me.
That's very true, Arpita. You have any questions for Rishi?
Yeah, I mean, I was just, thinking that, uh, when we found Rishi as a singer and composer, so how all that happened?
See, I am not a learned musician. Okay, I've never learned anything. I've not learned how to sing. I've not learned how to play. I've not learned how to compose. Nothing. So it's all out of a sensibility that I kind of trusted from childhood. And initially, it was pausing tapes and picking up guitar solos. It started from that era, and now it's so easy. Everything is available. But I'm lucky. I'm from that era where I have to really work hard. You really focus on something. You really get into it. So that has a different value which you carry all your life, and you can't really measure it. So everything has happened that way. I've never considered myself a singer. I still don't. I just sing a few songs, maybe which I'm comfortable. That's all. I don't consider myself a singer. Uh, and singing also happened like see when the we had a band called Hip Pocket in Kolkata, a rock band, classic rock band. We used to do a lot of classic rock covers, a lot of Pink Floyds and Beatles and Dire Straits, and that band was kind of popular in Kolkata. And there was this pub called Someplace Else. So that was this new culture being formed on in Park Street, where live music used to happen in Kolkata. So live music kind of came back, and this band became kind of very popular with that whole thing coming back. So we had great fun those days, playing at a pub twice a week. So there, what happened was the guy who no, I think there was a the vocalist, the female vocalist. she had to leave, and she had like some 40 songs in her belts, like for the band. So suddenly the band lost 40 songs. So immediately we had to distribute as much as you can within the band members.
Oh,
So like about 7, 8 songs came to me, and that's how I started singing like on a regular basis. So it picked up. I think I that kind of performing, so singing and singing got me helped me improve also, and I started enjoying singing, and especially in my band. Uh, we had two guitar players, myself and another great guitar player called Sumit Ramachandran. So he's like one of the best ever guitar players in India. So he's amazing. He's like, so having a guitar player like of that stature next to you in the band. uh, I realized also the band shaped up that way, that I realized that I need to focus more on my voice and singing, because the guitar is we are very strong as it is. So that's how I could focus more on the singing, because I could have a backing guitar player like Sumit Ramachandran, giving magic to enhance my singing. So yeah, I was lucky. So these things trained me. Playing with a lot of senior and good musicians of my city has taught me a lot of things. I've learned a lot from all these people. Yeah.
So
So
we
like that, so everything is happening. Hmm.
thank
Composing,
you.
I think it's a very, yeah. Also, it's a very natural thing. You either have it or you don't have it. So it's like feeling. You either
exactly.
feel something or you don't feel something. So compositions
Yes.
happen from that zone. uh, I am still blessed to sometimes connect to those feelings, and something happens out of nowhere. Nothing, out of nothing.
Thank you, Rishi. Thank you. We have learned so much from you, heard about your stories, your journeys, your challenges, and I'm sure the viewers who are with us today would be getting the many important messages, and they because they follow the celebrities quite closely. So whatever you
Mhm.
are doing, it will be closely being monitored or followed by them. Now, going back to Joy again, you have, now that we were talking about the ecosystem and the rainforest, you have been lately been vocal and raising concerns about these public issues. Also, what, according to you, is the sustainable progress towards keeping the nature alive, preserving a healthy ecosystem? And are you working on anything to spread the message to the world through your work?
With, firstly, with awareness. That is the biggest evil plaguing us in many senses, not only in terms of the ecosystem. I I think people have to be very aware. Education really needs to go up in terms of what we have and what we are going to lose. Uh, have I done anything with the music? My work in terms of music always involved culture, not the natural heritage of it. Though I was tied up to things, but I think I will take it up in a more proactive way right now in terms of my music also. Yeah, that will be part of my music and also everything around my music now for a while, I think.
Great, great. Arpita, you want to elaborate something on that?
Uh, no, I mean, I I actually am very much fascinated about music, I guess. So I would like to ask Jai now. Assam is known for Rangoli, Bihu, Bohag, Bihu, and the beautiful, migratory birds sing eternally. Even Arijit, you also, like we were talking about this the other day, right? So you are also fascinated with this. So the sounds of, Ketki bird, which must have influenced, you, Joy. So you're in your growing up years to pen down various compositions. So do you still feel that the magic of our nature is lost or it's gone now, and the human don't feel it anymore?
We've lost a lot of beautiful things. I don't know if it's gone. We don't know if it's gone. We've lost a lot of it. We've lost a lot of very beautiful things. The Siberian forests are burning. Siberia is burning. So I don't think we are in great times. And before the world wakes up, people think they're destroying the world. That's the thing. People think they can destroy the world. The world will destroy us and it will rebuild itself again. We cannot, we are nowhere in the scene. People think we are powerful, we'll dig coal and we'll do this and we will give a damn about the ecosystem. We are not even a blip on the radar. This will go away sooner. And I don't know. I had kind of foreseen this sort of a medical thing in about 10 years' time. I had a conversation with a scientist this January, a very big scientist, where I was reading a couple of
Okay.
articles. So
Uh-huh.
in like 10 years' time, I thought in the beginning of this year that we will not have some life-saving essential drugs. Like something like malaria could go crazy. What I thought would happen in 10 years, with all the awareness I think I can muster, it came in 1 year and minus 9 months. That is how close we are. And this is going to be very tough if we don't wake up. I don't think we have time, actually. I'm an optimist by nature in terms of, but I'm
No,
not
no, but this
optimistic
is like,
but I'm not optimistic of the way we are treating nature. I think we are going to get it very hard and very soon. Very hard and very soon.
we
I
started
think
getting it hard.
we'll get it very hard, and we'll not even realize. People think you own the planet. The planet owns you. We are being foolish. We are being stupid. You start a conversation around why you're cutting rainforests, and big corporate people are telling you, should we go back to the Stone Age? Like, are you stupid? I'm telling you, just cut a few less trees. I know we've not probably found the alternative fuels here. We know we've not found the fuels, or Tika, we'll get there. You tell people that don't cut, leave the rainforest, and they're telling me that should we go back to the Stone Age? If this is the wisdom of somebody who is 60 and who's been on the board of companies, that wisdom is worth shit. That is sad.
That's sad. I agree with you. It's so sad.
That is sad. If I'm telling people that that if I'm telling somebody, if I'm asking somebody, I'm telling is not the way. If I'm having a conversation that let's not dig near eco-sensitive zones, and
Yes.
they are digging like probably 500 meters off, and somebody telling me like, should we go back to the Stone Age? Now I don't know whether I should talk. I don't know whether I should talk to you or fire a bullet between your eyes. Sometimes it's that bad.
That's bizarre
Like,
thought.
because-
Going back to the Stone Age.
No. And these are experienced, educated people, and they have screwed the planet.
That's what it
They
is.
have screwed the planet.
That's what it is happening right now. And
These
we
are
they are attacking commerce.
these are people with engineering degrees. These are people with more education than me. What is education if it's not giving you some bloody wisdom? They have gone through the great technology institutes of our country, probably gone on to sponsored MBAs, worked with big companies in the country, and they are telling me, should we go back to the Stone Age? I am in the Stone Age, man. That's why we put you guys like you in the boards of petroleum companies. You run those companies and you're telling people that should we go back to the Stone Age? If somebody is asking you that, are you digging close to eco-sensitive zone? This is what education has made humankind. They think they own the planet. The planet owns them. We are gone. We'll be gone in a second. They don't even realize this.
yes.
You can't even have a conversation. You can't even write to somebody saying, what is this? My article was on the Wire. They said, the Wire is something like this one. Okay. Two of the best lawyers came with me. The guys were fighting the case. These guys are saying you don't know. Then when the lawyers went at them, they kept quiet. Suddenly, this gentleman recessed into the shadows. Like Batman would do, and with the Dark Knight. He went into the shadows, like Bane said, we are born of the shadows. Now, this gentleman who's been on the board, he just went quiet. I said, I am not driving a conversation around the ecosystem. I have got educated people who are doing it for me. I'm raising awareness. I don't know a tree. I don't know at what level you find coal. But I'll tell you, I'll get the people who know.
Yes.
But if this is the polarity of conversations we hear, I think we are an evolvingly stupid race, or we are evolving stupidly. This is regression. Soon mankind will go back to ape. I don't mean to insult apes. We will regress backwards. We won't go forwards.
No,
we'll go back to apes. We'll go back to apes, and we'll go back to the Neanderthal man.
That's what the pandemic has been doing, and most people are getting back to earlier days. And finally, that it's a nice conversation going on. I'm sure, Arpita, you would also agree. And we have this
I'm in
conversation.
love with this session. I don't want to end up.
These conversations will keep
I don't
on
want to
going,
end
but
up.
everything has to have a good end. So, Joy and Rishi, I'll have one question for you. Joy, for you, finally, any song or album that you are planning in working upon during this pandemic, which focused on, I probably asked you, which focused on preservation of environment. And other than that, what are your upcoming projects and music that the people are eagerly waiting from our very own talented Jai Borua, which will connect people, religion, region, all across the globe?
I'll keep it short. I'm working on my own music. I create very less music, so I'm working on my own music. I've been accused of being lazy. I'm working with a few other musicians who always wanted to work. I thought, let me start with some musicians whom I respect, and that I'm doing, getting other people to kind of introspect and write. I'm working on movies, and I'm also working on a future musical which we want to set up in Broadway. So hence I work at Abbey Road Studios, London. So these are the 3-4 things I am working on in terms of music.
That's wonderful, and we all wish you a very good luck, and we will eagerly wait to have this music come online. I'm sure it will be sooner. And Rishi, the same question goes to you. Do you need me to repeat the question, or you are fine with that?
What is coming up for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just launched my own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yes.
I can hear. So my channel is very new. It's just been 2-3 months, and I'm totally working for myself, and also working on an album of instrumental album which I'd never planned to, or in all these years. I'm now getting there. I'm very excited about that. Couple of ideas have shaped up, and otherwise every Friday I'm trying to do something different, and different people collaborations, and it's like out of the blue ideas. I just released a jam track which was never a concept for me in my head to release. Then there are songs, then there are heartfelt covers, then there are original music, then there's a lot of poems and music put together. We just launched something called Great Letters, which is the great letters from great people, which holds so much value, which means so much. I mean, the truth is the same. And so these real heroes had written some great letters, which are of so much value in today's time when we have the time to introspect. So we are also releasing letters in a packaged in an entertaining fashion with good visuals, with good music, and well narrated. So yeah, doing all kinds of new stuff. You can all come and check out my channel and see what I'm doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So now, this show unfortunately is coming to an end. But we are talking, so much about music and what's going on around us. And music ki baat ho aur gana nahi ho, it's like it shouldn't be happen. And since Joy is with us and Rishi is with us, so Joy, my favorite movies, my favorite songs. So I would like to request you, to sing a song for me, for
Why
our
don't
audience.
is it if I would ask, like, can you quickly make a medley? So it'll
No,
be
actually, I am getting into another meeting after this, so I'll quickly sing a song and I'll leave.
Okay, okay.
I won't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
I'll just sing one, two lines. I'm rushing into another thing.
okay,
Fine,
sure.
fine.
Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay, this was the only love song that has come out from me actually. So in terms of an Assamese song. কোৱা মনৰে কথা গানে গানে কৈ যোৱা না মনে বিচাৰে কাষত নুবুজা কিয় বুজা পুৱতিৰি ইমানে নদী বিয়পি পৰো আহাৰা কোৱা মনৰে কথা কানে কানে কৈ যোৱা That's it, man.
Thank you
you.
so much. Joy, one Bollywood song. Joy, please.
Sorry?
One Bollywood song.
Bollywood, wow. Okay, since you mentioned Imtiaz, I'll do a little of the Leila Majnu song for you.
Wow. That's
Okay.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So there is actually the song comes twice in the movie. Once the beginning of romance and once the end of romance. So I sing the beginning and the end, like the climax, Atif comes in and sings. So what I sing is basically a hybrid of both the songs. I don't know which is which now, though both are very different songs actually. So
That's fine.
is the guitar audible?
Perfect.
Rishi, am I doing fine? He's the musician. He'll tell me. If I'm not doing fine, you tell me. I'll just shut up and go away. पत्ता ना रोका पत्ता ना रुका जैसे हवाओं में ऐसे भटकता हूँ दिन रात दिखता हूँ मैं तेरी राहों में मेरे गुनाहों में मेरे सवाबों में शामिल तू भूली अठन्नी सी बचपन के कुर्ते में सेविल तू रंग छुपा के मैं बातों में लेना मांगो जमाने से रब से वो लेना कब से मैं तेरा हूँ कब से तू मेरी लेना तेरी तलब है तू ही तो सब है तू ही तो सब है कब से मैं तेरा हूँ कब से तू मेरी लैला ओ मेरी लैला लैला ख्वाब तू है पहला कब से मैं तेरा हूँ कब से तू मेरी लैला ओ मेरी लैला लैला ख्वाब तू है पहला कब से मैं तेरा हूँ कब से तू मेरी लैला Thank you.
Wow. Amazing, amazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Joy, for
Thank you.
having accepted our request and be
No, I
here.
would have
Spent
hung around. I have another meeting going actually. That's why I have to
no,
end.
I know it's too
But
long
I
because
would.
we could not. Yeah, we will
No,
come
no. This
back
has been a
again
lovely
sometime later.
conversation.
Yeah, it
Sure,
Yeah,
was.
sure,
We
sure.
enjoyed a lot, and
yeah, and I would love to have Joy you again on a platform, this
Thank
platform.
you,
So
thank you. No, the
yes,
pleasure's mine too. And
uh,
thank you
pleasure
for
knowing you.
no, it was a good thing. At least we got to talk. It's important. And, sometimes musicians are just called to sing, so that gets very repetitive and very boring. But thank you,
Yes.
for such a beautiful conversation. Rishi, thank you for listening. He's a great musician himself. But Rishi, I'm sorry I'm having to rush today, but I'll make up for you. We'll share
Sure.
contacts and we'll get in touch, man.
Yes,
But
yes.
I would love to. I would love
Absolutely.
to
We'll
talk to you.
connect. We'll
You know,
connect.
and thank you.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
here.
And much
And we would
respect.
love to
thank you,
have,
Joy. Thank you for
and
joining.
also
Thank
we
you.
would love to have you all together and meet you and do something once the
Sure.
pandemic is over. Yeah. All
Sure,
the
sure. We
best.
would love to look that.
Oh.
We'd
Yeah.
love to. We'd love to go
Oh,
to
wow.
Memphis and Nashville. But
Oh,
thank you,
Yeah,
Arijit, for
our pleasure.
yeah.
Our pleasure.
We'll look forward. Thank
Thank
you,
you
Arijit,
so
for hosting
thank
this.
you.
Thank you, Arpita, for reaching out and
Thank
lovely
you. It's my
conversation.
pleasure.
Thank you, Rishi, brother. Much
Thank you.
love, man.
Thank you.
Stay good, stay
Thank
good.
you.
We'll connect.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Rishi, we will not allow you to leave because we will come up with few more songs. You have to do that.
A
Of
few more
course.
songs.
Now
Uh,
it's your turn, Rishi.
okay. Only thing is,
Whatever it is, we are not doing like that kind of a show, so don't worry about it.
no. Actually, the thing is, I am not I don't just sit and sing. I'm not. I sing very internally. Otherwise, I sing only when I have to sing. I am more. I just noodle on my guitar mostly. Otherwise, I'm producing stuff. So I'm not a guy who just can quickly sing 10 songs, 15 songs. I don't have those many songs in my basket. But yeah, if you tell me to perform, maybe I can focus and then do that job on that particular night.
Okay, we
But
will do that.
but what, Joy's Assamese song reminded me. It's so soulful that that I remembered a beautiful
To a
song, and
Bengali,
a Bengali one.
yeah.
Uh, uh, I may forget the words and all. I'm not used to singing these songs anymore. Very old. Still, I'm trying. পদ্মার কথা কইলা বন্ধু কইলা মেঘনা রূপসী সোনা মেঘে হাসি তুলা হাত বাড়াইয়া তবু তুলা তবু কইলা নাম কইলা পদ্মার কথা কইলা বন্ধু কইলা মেঘনা রূপসী সোনা মেঘে হাসি তুলা হাত বাড়াইয়া দিলা তবু কইলা নাম কইলা don't remember the whole song that way, but just I'm trying my best.
Do play anything Bollywood or anything, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay, I'll also play another love song. But can I sing in English?
Yes, sure.
When the afternoon song feels funny, you forget the sun in a jealous sky as you walk and see go. So she took her love for the day and night upon the fields of Bali. It is all she found as her head came down among the fields of gold. Among the fields of gold. Among the fields Okay. Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, just
Great voices are
Great
here,
voices,
and
but I know this platform is more of a chat show, and because we don't have that intense music arrangement setup, so we have.
still,
Yes,
I mean,
exactly. It's such a nice feeling and having you over to with us here.
same here.
But
It was wonderful. It was
it was
wonderful.
wonderful,
Yeah,
and
yeah. And this is the first
uh,
time in this pandemic period that I'm actually doing something like this. And I've been only seeing a lot of posts, people doing it all over. And not that I'm really very keen. I'm not so talkative generally. Uh, but
okay.
this was such
So
a
we made
pleasurable
you talk.
experience with both of you hosting it so beautifully. And
Thank
with
you.
you both have such pleasant smiles, and it makes it very easy and loose. And things. And Joy spoke so beautifully. It was such a beautiful experience for me. Yeah, this interview. Thank you.
Rishi,
Thank you,
I am
Rishi, for
bringing you
coming and
also though.
joining us.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Arpita and Rishi, yes, we almost spent close to 1 hour 45 minutes today.
Yes,
It's an
yes. And
ever-ending.
I
It is.
know that's what I
Yeah,
told
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And Rishi sounds so good, and the questions and these I felt, this time it was not like interview. It was like a normal conversation we are having, and
Absolutely. Mm.
yeah, and we are enjoying. We were enjoying so much, and yeah, I mean, it was a great session. As I told you, that I didn't want to end it, but
Yeah.
time.
But now
Pleasure.
we are almost have to wrap up. So here you go. Okay, I have been getting so many questions on the screen. I have to just sorry, because I keep checking on my phone. The phones have like requests coming, this coming, but we can't accept like everything at this point of time, because you have they. It's a NRB news channel, and many people have heard you, Rishi, doing many Bengali movie directions and singing, so they have
Mm.
the request like why Rishi is not playing some Bengali songs, but this is I felt like the arrangements are not very proper, and the music effect would not go that well. We probably
Mhm.
will bring you again sometime with just hosting a
Yes, we
show.
should. We should.
We should, because that will be just a show of a music, and then not a
Mhm.
adda like that. So the people will be more keen and look forward to seeing you. So until then, from NRB News, Arijit
Mm.
and Arpita, once again, thank you for accepting our request and coming over and giving your valuable time and talking to us. Arpita, over to you. Wrap up.
Yeah, so from NRB News 24, me, Arpita Garud, and Arijit Basu, we are saying goodbye to you. Just log into Facebook and check nrbnews.com page and like it and share it. Do comment so we can, bring more entertaining events on this platform. Thank you, and wish you a good day and good night. Thank you.
And before that, we also would like to tell our viewers every Saturday we are coming up with the celebrity, and we have already lined up for the coming 3 weeks with the Bollywood and the Tollywood singers and actors. So stay
Actors.
tuned with
Yes.
us.
Stay
Yes,
tuned.
stay tuned. Bye bye. Good night from
Okay.
NIT.com. Bye.
Bye.